To the politician now whose face has been flashed around the world as America's history maker. The real work now begins for Barack Obama as he builds a team to take to Washington and confronts a deepening economic crisis and two lingering wars.
And while his millions of supporters are still revelling in the moment, his Republican rivals picking up the pieces after a heavy defeat. In a moment, we'll have more from the John McCain camp with our reporter in Arizona, Garth Bray. But first, we go to the scene of celebrations. Our US correspondent, Tim Wilson, in Chicago. Tim.
Wendy, yesterday America discovered almost to its own surprise that it could elect a black man as president. Today it was getting accustomed to just what that meant. After the audacity of hope, the burden of expectation. America's first black president-elect skirted reporters to meet top advisors. The outgoing president looked for a silver lining after the election of a man whose success is a personal rebuke.
This moment is especially uplifting for a generation of Americans who witnessed the struggle for civil rights with their own eyes.
As I watched finally, one of the newscasters cut to the chase and said, "He's won, it's over." Pretty moving moment.
Yesterday, Americans queued for the promise of hope and change. Today, they waited again in Barack Obama's home neighborhood for a front page they'd cherish for years to come.
Mr. President, Mr. President, yes, change has come.
Nearby, the roaring trade in T-shirts, spending money, a very American ritual of celebration. The youngest understand.
He's going to change our world and have an election book about him.
It's the first time since the Kennedys that the laughter of two young children will fill the White House. And there'll be an addition.
Sasha and Malia, I love you both more than you can imagine. And you have earned the new puppy that's coming with us to the White House.
Obama built his victory on a coalition of African Americans, young voters and Hispanics, what he calls a new America.
Black, white, Asian, doesn't matter who you are.
Towards Iraq, Barack Obama is going to take us out of that godforsaken country, and my friends can finally rest in peace.
This is how they celebrate in Chicago when one of their own sons is elected President of the United States of America. There's not much restraint here.
Run and tell your mama, we're voting for Obama.
I saw a lot of African Americans crying, and that was kind of weird. So I was kind of felt happy for them.
Including a Kiwi with a passport to one of those where were you when it happened moments.
First time I left New Zealand.
But after the poetry of celebration comes the prose of governing. Barack Obama now has the lonely task of living up to a generation's dreams.
All right, Tim, so still many celebrations, but what's the process now for the transition of power?
Wendy, first off, they've got to pick the team, and the focus right now is on Democratic bulldog Rahm Emanuel for the position of White House Chief of Staff. It's a crucial position, and it sets the tone. Now, if Obama is the hope man, Rahm Emanuel is a fighter so pugnacious, he's been nicknamed Rambo. He once said, "I've been called temperamental, vindictive, foul-mouthed and mean, and that was just my mum bragging about me." I think Obama's also going to focus on the Treasury Secretary role pretty promptly. He said the economy is a priority. They've already had a lot of planning about this, so we can expect some pretty big appointments as soon as next week.
Thank you, Tim. US correspondent Tim Wilson in Chicago.